granite came from?
It's actually marble. So what you see on the walls, the benches, that's our marble from Vermont.
Okay.
The pink marble you're walking on is from Italy. And if you came in through the east or the west wing, all the brown marble on the walls on the floor is from Tennessee. So
Okay.
marble from everywhere.
Nothing more.
Yeah, fortunately we don't have any marble here. So
Yeah?
no marble.
Even in Beckley?
Yeah. So
Like a cave-in where all the sand is?
yeah, like that area is where, that's why we have a lot of, we used to have a lot of glass factories here,
Yeah.
so that's why, unfortunately, as far as hard material like that, you have coal, but we get mostly granite, like shale, stuff like that here, but no marble.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
We're standing right here, just virtually the center of the Capitol building. We started built this building in 1924, finished it in 1932, so it took us about 8 years to finish building the Capitol building, and then the Great Depression happened right in the middle of that. So we had $9.5 million to build the Capitol building, but no leftover funds for our paintings and murals and stuff like that. So it's one of the reasons when you're looking at the dome up there, and you just walk around the Capitol building, that's why we have lots of blank spaces on the walls.
Okay.
Now, we did have enough money for a 23.5-carat gold leaf dome, so we have some of that gold leaf inside here too. When you look all the way up there in the inner dome, we have some of our gold leaf up there.
All the rumors the Confederates stole it.
Huh?
The Confederates stole it. You ever hear that rumor?
I mean, I haven't heard that before, but
You don't believe it?
actually, if you were here in the 90s, you could steal some gold yourself. I heard in the 90s if you worked here, because it was flaking off so bad in our dome, you could literally just go out the lawn there and you can pick up gold leaf and take it home with you.
Nice.
Luckily, we don't have that issue right now, so you can't do that.
That's why they say there's no gold in Fort Knox, because people sneak it up.
Oh.
Because the leaves, like you said.
Yeah.
And no one's done that since 1988.
It was probably around the
Something
same.
like that.
Yeah, it was probably around the same time then.
Yeah, because they sold it all to Saudi Arabia, and what's left is in New York City. You can blend this all in your conversation. Sorry, I'll let you talk.
No, that's interesting. If you look all the way up there, that's our really big chandelier. So it weighs about 2 tons.
Oh, wow,
attached
yeah.
to a 54-foot chain. So when you're looking at this spark circle on the floor here, it gives you a better idea of how big the chandelier is because it fits just inside the white circle.
Nice.
Now we're going to start down this hallway known as our governor's hallway, which is our first governor, Arthur Foreman. It goes down toward the east wing and then it wraps itself around to Robert Ellsworth Wise. And we're going to head this way so we can talk about our past Capitol buildings. So follow me this way.
So where are you from?
From West Virginia. So I
Yeah,
live
where?
St. Albans.
Okay.
About 30 minutes away from here.
Yeah,
Not that far.
yeah, we're from Weird.
From where?
Weird.
Oh, okay.
Hard to forget about.
We're not anybody.
Hey, you got that. Christy Moss, you know her? Christy Moss? She's from St. Albans. Oh, that's big, huh?
Yeah. Well, the issue is I'm not good with names. If you
Yeah.
give me a face, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know you.
My buddy went to Marshall with it.
Okay, see, I live in St. Albans and went to Marshall. So.
Okay. Yeah, that was many moons ago. That's probably your age. I actually went to Marshall. Let's go here. Funny Eagle. It's my favorite honor.
So we're going to start here at Wheeling, West Virginia, and we're going to make our way across. He's recording.
Oh, he's recording his YouTube channel. You gotta ask her if she's okay.
Great.
So we're going to start here in Wheeling because this is our first Capitol building. Now it doesn't really look like a Capitol building because originally it was an all-boys military school. So it was the Institute, they own this building, and then it says borrow it to use as our past Capitol building.
I played with football.
You kind of know what area it is.
One guy made the NFL, tackled me in the end zone, caught a touchdown on it. He actually played the NFL for him.
Cool. Yeah, there's actually someone who lives across from me. He used to be in the NFL.
Can't use the box.
So once again, don't ask your neighbor because he's your new neighbor, so. that's in living hall to recommend people to see. It's called the Independence Hall because it was inside that living where the decision to make West Virginia the 35th state happen. And if you head to our state museum, you can check out the Independence Hall room, and that's just right across from us. But in the 1870s, that's when the City Council of Charleston went to the government, offered to give them $50,000 for a new Capitol building. Of course, they said yes, and we get to move from Wheeling, West Virginia, over to Charleston, West Virginia. So this was in downtown Charleston, and Capitol.
Say no bad words. Okay.
But if you notice by the date, we were only in Charleston for 5 years because Charleston was a very small city back then. Look at the picture, we had dirt roads in Charleston at the time. We didn't have a lot of gas lamps going up and down those roads, and most importantly, there wasn't enough hotel room to house everybody in the government in Charleston. So after 5 years, Wheeling came back into the picture. They went to the government, offered to give them a new Capitol building, said they'd make sure it was bigger than what they currently had, and most importantly, they were going to pay for everything. So of course they said yes, and we made the move from Charleston back to Wheeling, West Virginia. So we really just moved back and forth a lot.
Well, Willie was the gateway to the west.
Yeah, I always grew up like hearing that it was kind of the most northern of the southern
Yeah,
places
the
in
bridge,
West Virginia.
the bridge is still there. They use it. That's where the stogie came from. Because when they took the wagon wheels across, they sold stogie cigars. That's where the stogies came from.
See, I'm learning all these things. You can learn things every day.
And you Southerners, you guys out here forget about us up north.
Now, this is a new Capitol they built in Wheeling, and unfortunately, if you go to Wheeling today, you're not going to see this building. About 65 years ago, they ended up tearing it down due to a trend that was just happening, actually, even in Europe. Unfortunately, they were tearing down historic buildings, and they were building new modern ones in its place, and this was a victim of its time. But you can still see the church that's right behind it today. Yeah, so we were in that from 1875 to 1885, so even after 1885, the city will use it for office purposes and stuff like that. Now, of course, by this time, you were notice having a floating capital. We were going from Wheeling to Charleston, Charleston back to Wheeling. We're using steamships and barges, transporting everything up and down the Canal River, so we decided to have a vote on having a permanent capital here in West Virginia. Now, we only voted on 3 cities. We voted on Martinsburg, Clarksburg, and Charleston, West Virginia. Notice Wheeling wasn't included in the ballot. That's because Martinsburg and Clarksburg, while they're not as northern as Wheeling, they're nowhere near as southern as Charleston. So it broke the Wheeling vote, and over 41,000 people voted for Charleston. So we made the move from Wheeling, West Virginia, back to Charleston, West Virginia.
My great uncle was mayor of Clarksburg.
Oh, really?
Fish.
Now, we actually tore down that Charleston Capitol and we built this new one in its place. But if you guys go to downtown Charleston, you're not going to find this building. You're just going to see a little plaque in the grass telling you where it used to be, because in 1921 there was a fire and it started in the attic of the Capitol building. Now, the fire wasn't really the problem. The problem was it was during our Cold War years. So guns, ammunition, gunpowder was being stored inside of our Capitol building. Yeah, not the best idea, because like I said, that fire happened, it triggered a series of explosions, and we lost this building in 1921. Now, what you're standing in is not the 5th building, this is our 6th building. Because after 42 working days, we built a new Capitol, a couple streets down from that one, and it was known as our pasteboard Capitol. It was a temporary building until this one was finished. But you know, the Capitol in just 42 working days is not the best made Capitol, right? Well, 6 years went by, an electrical fire happened, and that one ended up burning down too. So we kind of had some bad luck with our Capitol buildings.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions or anything so far?
Now it's marble, so let's fire. More fireproof.
Yeah, like it's hard to burn marble down, you know? So what we're going to do right now, we're going to go upstairs. We can either use the stairs or the elevators, depends on what everybody wants to do today. I'll go upstairs, but they have to do the elevator.
I got Forrest Gump.
He's got bad knees, so you know. Oh, so you have the option to use the elevator. Use an elevator. But then I'm kind of like to avoid stairs, so that's just me. This is our first governor, Arthur Gorman, who everybody, let's take
him out there. Was that him?
Yeah, so we do have a Lincoln walking at night statue up front there.
Okay. Yeah, I did think it was
Of course, that's Cecil Underwood. He's both our oldest and youngest governor, so he's the only one that got 2 portraits since he served his term separately.
Yeah, he was when I was a kid. There's more. He does 5 times. Was the other 3 or he does what 3 times.
It's a famous last name.
My neighbor met him for the coffee sure on that.
Some people are just good like that.
And down here, when he was home, he gave a speech. There's a couple over there and everything like that. And then down here, so he stood up and asked
Happening
him.
with some people.
Nick stood up and asked him. I was just in Weird and you told the exact opposite speech.
Oh, what do you say?
I just,
He got out of it.
yeah, he was good.
So if you want to use the stairs, you can use the stairs right over there. If you want to use the elevator, follow me over here.
Okay. Are you going the stairs with me? Okay.
I always tell people when you come up here, this is the best place to see our dome up here. Way back in the beginning, yeah, actually used to be able to go up there on that walkway, and we did tours up there.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, nowadays it's not high enough, so this is as far as we're going to go today.
That's high enough.
Yeah, if you look at that railing right there, see
Yeah.
that railing doesn't pass safety standards anymore. So I'm 5'3" and it comes up above my waist, so it's fine for me. But if you're taller than 5'3", it's not going to be tall enough for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely that wouldn't be safe for him.
Well, we're all shorter. I think we can do an exam. Is there a waiver we can sign?
Well, if you can talk the Capitol Police into letting you, you know what, you go right ahead.
I am a military veteran. Huh?
Okay, so we're gonna pause right here because as you already noticed, the ceiling's my favorite part about up here. Now these are our hand-carved rosettes made out of plaster, and they represent 3 of the hardwoods of West Virginia, so there are 3 trees you can still see here on campus. So if you guys came in through the west wing over there, you're surrounded by our magnolia trees. So the rosette up there with the rounded leaf, that represents our magnolia tree. The one with the smaller leaf, that represents our sugar maple tree, and then behind that we have the oak tree. Then it just starts to repeat itself. Now when you look in the border of the ceiling, we have our shields, and each shield is different about Virginia. So over there in the corner, we have the bowl with the horn hanging from the horn, representing our agricultural industry. We have a
steel mill town. Where's a steel mill town?
No, nothing for steel.
Yeah, they forget about us.
Well, the six-sided show represents industries in general. So we have mining, we have glass factories, you include steel in there.
I don't see no steel.
We had timber, and we still have a timber economy and stuff like that around here. So it encompasses everything.
You won't even know where it was 475% of the state when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mill.
Well, I'm from
Now they're putting a battery factory where the mill was. Some
yeah.
guy from Workville and Musk. But yeah, that was real weird.
Yeah, I heard that they're doing that now. They're trying to find old factories and stuff like that and like
Yeah.
repurpose them with different businesses
Yeah.
and stuff. So I guess it is starting now.
Yeah,
But we
hopefully.
have even more marble here though. So when you look at the walls and the benches, that's more of our Vermont marble. The light fixtures you see, that's our black and gold Belgian marble. We have alabaster bowls on top. And then of course the floor is more of our Italian marble.
Where's the top part from?
Yeah, the tops are alabaster bowls.
They're
They're from overseas, so I believe we got those from France. And the walls here, that's how you can really tell that we built the Capitol building and then the Great Depression happened, because they actually cut out places in the marble for us to have big paintings and murals and stuff like that. But they did such a great job of building the Capitol building that they tried to make the grains on the marble, so you can walk right past the hall here and not really realize that something's missing on the walls here. And plus, it makes you appreciate the details of the Capitol building without the murals and stuff to kind of distract you. Yeah, I think it's brought up every once in a while, but I think it's just be too much money nowadays. We were actually really lucky that we didn't end up putting murals on the dome there, because a couple years ago we had water damage between inner and outer dome, and we had to repair and everything. Well, to repair water damage was a couple $1 million, and another. Well, I mean, if you can convince him to do that, like, you go right ahead. He has Greenbrier. Yeah. Yeah, because someone came on my tour and they were at Capitol building, they had water damage too, but unfortunately for them, they actually had murals and stuff. So their problem was to repair that damage and to try to protect their murals and stuff. So when you have historic buildings like this, you have safety codes and like certain places where like things can't touch. So we were lucky that we didn't have to have those issues when we were repairing things. So sometimes having simplicity is really the best. Like I said, if you want to talk to your representative or maybe the governor, let him thank you with stuff like that. But
I need a house too. You live in Canada?
we get a summer home here.
Yeah, that's where we're going. Here in South Carolina.
Okay.
That's the plan, because I got a medical compensation, so that's small.
Yeah, everybody looks at this room and they're like, oh, it's smaller. I thought it'd be bigger.
Yeah.
So this is our Senate chamber. We have 34 members of the Senate. And of course, the chandelier you see in here is what you see in the House of Delegates too. So they're duplicate of each other. And they both weigh over 1,000 pounds and have 144 lights
We only
on
have
there.
34?
Yeah, we only have 34. So they're divided by districts and not counties.
Okay.
And we have more of our gold leaf in here. So we look at the eagle that borders the ceiling. We have some of our gold leaf on the eagle. And the wings are spread outward because we're the Senate considered the upper house. When we go inside the House of Delegates, they have a white eagle in the border of their ceiling, and the wings will be pointed downward because that's the House of Delegates considered the lower house. Lots of cool symbolism like that throughout the Capitol building. And
All sessions are open to the public, or just?
yeah, so they're all open to the public. So it's only from mid-January, February, and March is when we have our session. They're 60-day sessions, and that's when you have access to the gallery. So there's two on the side where you can sit, and another one right behind us. But they are first come, first served galleries. So if you get here and all three of these galleries are full, that's when you're going to be out there in the hall. So you want to make sure you get here early. It's a very popular build that they're talking about that day. And of course, I like these rosettes in here. These are our wood rosettes, and you can just see the original coloring of the building with the light pink and light blue. Because the red you see around the room here, and that was added in the 1990s.
Who sits here and catches? You can't reserve me one?
Well, we have doorkeepers that sit back here, so they're kind of in charge of, you know, who comes in and out, and they're the ones that kind of know everything that happens here. Now the desks are original that you see in here, so the desks are made out of black walnut from our West Virginia mountains.
Oh, nice.
And they have their names on the side of the ink blotters in here, versus when we go to the House of Delegates, they have the same desk, but their names are going to be on the front of the desk there. And both chambers vote the same way, so they have the red and green buttons. Their names are going to appear on the red screens in front of us, and the names will change colors depending on how they vote, so red or green. And if you're sitting in these seats, then you have to vote yes or no. You can't abstain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you're in the room, then you have to vote. You can't abstain. But if you're not in here, then they're not going to chase you down, so you don't have to vote if you're not in here.
I'm sorry, what chamber is this?
This is the Senate chamber. You always know you're in the House of Delegates because we have 100 members over there, so it gets crowded in the House of Delegates.
So each county has a population
Yeah, so like during COVID, all the governors were encouraging people to fill out the census, that determines the population size. So it went down here in West Virginia drastically. So for 2 weeks in November, both the Senate and the House had to come back here because the governor called a special session and they had to redistrict everything. So the district didn't break up, but the counties did. So some counties moved to different districts, some counties were split. So stuff like that does happen. We have drastic changes like that.
How long you worked here?
Either be 4 or 5 years in September. I'm not sure which. It blurred together. Any other questions? Well, something we kind of noticed, there's a few differences between the House of Delegates and the Senate chamber. Over here in the Senate, you notice they have their own seal. Of course, when we go to the House of Delegates, they have the West Virginia seal hanging up there. So just a few minor differences between both chambers. So we'll go across and we're going to check out the House of Delegates next.
Nice.
We declared ourselves West Virginia, and that's illegal. You can't do that. You're supposed to ask for permission from the state you're separating from first. Luckily, Lincoln stepped in. He declared 35th state. He joined the Union, and we officially became West Virginia. So he gets his statue out front. And we also have the Canal River, and the University of Charleston is right across from us. Yeah, we can go closer if you want to see it. You just have to be careful because you can exit any door, but you want to come back in, you have to use the side entrances.
John Crook? You know John Crook, the baseball player?
I'm not a sports person.
He played
So pretty.
I know this is
Yeah, one of these big dash.
So this is the House of Delegates, and this is what I was saying. You don't have a lot of room in here because they have get the same size room, only we have 100 members over here. So when you look at the desks, I like them in here because you get to see how things change throughout the years. So we have more of our black walnut, and then when they updated the voting system to an electric system, they had to add the walnut, or the black walnut, and they had to add the oak here for the updated electrical system. And you get a better idea of how they vote with their names in lists there.
Can I
Their
sit?
names will change
Sorry.
colors.
Can I sit on a chair?
No, we have to remain standing. Yeah, you can sit back there if you want to. You can be the doorkeeper.
Yeah. Sorry.
And I kind of like the ceiling here a little better because it's with this square ceiling, you can tell. We're built in the shape of a horseshoe, and we technically have 3 domes. So we have the small square dome over top of us and the House of Delegates. The Senate chamber gets a small round dome, and the very center is a really big dome. So we're 292 feet tall. And then of course we have the windows in here to provide ventilation because back then our heating system, and you're allowed to smoke in here. So you had to open up the window to provide ventilation. Luckily, we updated everything. We have vents we installed just below it. And for your health and safety of the building, no more smoking in the Capitol building. Now we have a little bit more gold leaf here in the House of Delegates. So their clock actually gets some gold leaf. We have gold leaf in the border of the ceiling, and that's where you can see the eagle with the wings folded downward. And then we have gold leaf on these rosettes in here. So the blue background and the gold leaf kind of makes you see the details in these, because it's with the gold leaf on the pine cone that you can tell we have a pine tree represented in here. And of course we have even more marble when we're in here in the House of Delegates. So the white marble you see is more of our marble, and then right below it, it looks like it's black marble, but it's actually dark green marble from Georgia State. So marble from everywhere. And this was the West Virginia seal. It's right in front of us. That's what I was telling you, tell a few differences. That we have the West Virginia seal hanging up there instead of they're getting their own seal. And then if you look at the desk on the side, that's how you can tell their names are on the front of the desk, and the number represents the district that they're in. And of course, the graphic on the walls, what you see is kind of soundboards and stuff to kind of dull some of the echo in here, because we do have 100 members.
Still only work 90 days.
So they both come back at the same time. So.
Where are they now?
Most of them live within their district, so they'll have like different jobs they go back to. So some people are teachers, some doctors, lawyers. We have people from like all walks like that are on the board. So you can see, his name up there on the board, above below, above canyons above it, and check it out. Capito.
Was she appreciate it. Very cool.
Yeah, well, like back here, like I said, we have the doorkeeper that sit in your desk right here. We have the sergeant at arms that sit back there, and we have more doorkeepers or members of the press or people that are waiting to be recognized.
They
that are
drag
in
people
here.
out.
Hmm?
Drag people out when they're too.
I mean, that's what the doorkeepers are here for, and the sergeant at arms provide muscle.
Yeah.
Don't get unruly in here.
Does it? Yeah.
Generally, no, because if you think
Oh,
about it,
okay.
when they're in here, it's like they run into each other all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of harder to be mean to someone when you're used to seeing them in the hallways. That would make for a very awkward time.
You never know. People get crazy.
Yeah. Luckily, it hasn't gotten that bad in here. Like, I mean, knock on wood, it hasn't gotten that bad in here. Yeah, but I always tell the kids, especially, it's like just like when you're in school, there's rules in here too. So they do get a blue book,
Okay.
and it tells them like rules and regulations and stuff like that. Because even when they're in here, they can't just stand up and start talking. There's certain things they have to say first before they even start speaking about the bill they want to talk about. So
A lot of them don't have staff members like
yeah.
they do.
Yeah, a lot of them don't know, like I was agreeing with you, a lot of them don't have staff or anything. So that's why when legislative starts too, we have these booklets and it gives you the picture and the contact information of everybody within here. So you'll get either the Capitol office number, some of them have their own district number you can call, but if there's not a district number, there's always an email address so you can contact them directly.
Mollahan, he's the one who got my discharge. There's no Mollahan no more.
I think we had
That's surprising.
yeah, we had a lot of new people come in this past session.
Because he was like, there was 4 or 5 generations of Mollahans.
Yeah, so we did have like a lot of new people that came in here to replace some people.
That's good. We need fresh ideas.
Yeah, especially since we had to redistrict too, so that was one of the issues, is that some people who never had to run against each other suddenly had to run against each other. So sometimes you could be like running against your friend. And you never had to before. Any other questions?
Flu hardies could be one too. No? You guys got questions? You just got quiet. I'm doing all the talking.
It's not like usual, honey.
She says, I'm used to that.
Those 22 years, he just doesn't stop. That's okay.
I'll tell you one more thing before I bring you back downstairs. This is my favorite thing about boat chambers. So we do have our pockets and these are original to the building. So we still use them too. So we'll close those doors and then these are the ones that we'll lock at night. Yeah, so both chambers, they get pocket doors, and you are actually supposed to enter through this door here. So the front door there and the back door there, they have pocket doors. So you can't look out the back half right now since we are repairing the roof back there, but that's why they have their pocket doors popped out.
Right. That's probably black walnut.
Yeah, that's more of our if you want to use the stairs or right over there, if you want to use it elsewhere, you can follow me over here.
Go with me again. Can I get your bag? I usually like to get just walk. See? It always looks neat. I like doing different stuff like that. That's kind of cool. It was neat, huh?
Yeah.